Sometimes it feels like we're overreacting. A small comment, a strange look, a text left on read, a pause in conversation that suddenly feels loud, and just like that, we're spinning. Our chest tightens, our stomach drops, our thoughts race, and we start making meaning out of everything. He's ignoring me. She must be mad at me. I must have done something wrong. I'm too much again. And then the shame kicks in. We scold ourselves for being too sensitive. We call ourselves needy, dramatic, unstable. We feel embarrassed for how deeply we feel. But pause for a second. What if you're not overreacting? What if your response makes perfect sense? Not to the moment, but to your history? You're not crazy. You're not unstable. You're not broken. You're triggered. Let's talk about what that really means. A trigger is not about what's happening right now. It's about what your body remembers, even when your mind doesn't. Because our bodies don't just carry muscle and bones. They carry stories. They carry memories. They carry unspoken, unprocessed pain. When someone doesn't text back, your body might not just feel annoyance. It might feel abandonment. When someone corrects you, your body might not just feel discomfort. It might relive the humiliation of being shamed for getting things wrong. When someone raises their voice or pulls away emotionally, your nervous system might light up like it's a 5-alarm fire. Not because of this one moment, but because it reminds you of every time love felt unsafe. This is the brilliance and the burden of your nervous system. It's not here to be reasonable. It's here to keep you alive. And when your body learned at a young age that love can mean danger, that silence can mean rejection, that chaos often comes before pain, your nervous system stored that as truth. It became your operating system, your lens, your inner protector. So when you feel triggered, it's not a failure. It's a flare, a signal, saying, something in here feels like danger again. Let's break it down further. When you're triggered, your body activates one of 4 survival responses. Fight, flight, freeze, fawn. Fight, you get angry, defensive. Maybe you say things you regret. Flight, you retreat. You distract. You shut down communication. Freeze. You go numb. You can't speak. You feel paralyzed. Fawn. You become overly agreeable. You abandon your own needs to keep the peace. These reactions aren't bad. They aren't wrong. They were built to protect you when you had no other options. Maybe as a child it wasn't safe to argue. Maybe you had to earn love by being the good one. Maybe you learned that your emotions were too much, or that asking for what you needed would only lead to rejection or ridicule. So now your body still acts like it's back there, back in that room, back in that moment, back in that season of life where you were vulnerable, unseen, or afraid. But here's the thing, you're not in that moment anymore. You're here. You're safe, you're older, wiser, more resourced. But your nervous system hasn't gotten the memo yet. That's what healing is. Not just thinking better thoughts. Not just writing affirmations on sticky notes. Not even just going to therapy once a week. Healing is the daily work of retraining your nervous system. Teaching it that the world is no longer as dangerous as it once was. Showing it that your needs matter, that your voice matters, that your pain is real, and that you, finally, are safe enough to feel it. This is where regulation comes in. Regulation is the practice of creating safety inside your own body. It's not about being calm all the time. It's about knowing what to do when the storm comes. It's taking a pause when your breath shortens. It's placing your hand on your chest and saying, "I'm with you." It's feeling the wave rise and not needing to drown in it. When you feel triggered, ask yourself, what age does this emotion belong to? What am I afraid will happen? What does this moment remind me of? Is this reaction about now or about back then? And most importantly, what do I need right now to feel safe again? Sometimes it's a breath, sometimes it's space, sometimes it's crying, sometimes it's reaching out to someone you trust. Healing isn't about never getting triggered again. It's about getting better at noticing, better at soothing, better at choosing a new response, one that honors both your past and your present. You start to see the old patterns. You recognize the loop. Fear of being abandoned, fear of being unloved, fear of being too much or not enough. And with awareness comes choice. You can pause before reacting. You can speak instead of shutting down. You can stay present instead of disappearing. You can respond with compassion instead of criticism. This is deep work, tender work, often invisible work, but it's the work that changes everything. Because when you learn to stop blaming yourself, when you stop saying, "What's wrong with me?" and start saying, "What happened to me?" you stop waging war on your body, and you start building a relationship with it. You learn that your triggers aren't signs of weakness. They're signs of survival. They're signals that a younger version of you still needs care. And little by little, your nervous system softens, your heart steadies, your fear releases its grip. You start to trust yourself. You start to feel safe in your own skin. You start to feel at home in your own story. This is the work of becoming, the mosaic of healing. Piece by piece, we lay down the old patterns and create something new. We move from reaction to reflection, from fear to freedom, from survival to self-leadership. It's not always linear. Sometimes we fall back into old loops, but that too is part of the journey. Because every time you return to yourself with compassion, you rewire something. You send your body a new message. I am here. I am listening. I am safe. You are not broken. You are becoming. This is the mosaic of becoming. And this is your second step.